we're going to take a look at what happens when we combine like terms and when we distribute. So combining like terms, when we're given an expression, similar here to example 1a, and we have a handful of different things going on here. So I have 3x's, 4x's, -5, and +9. So positive 3x's, positive 4x's, a -5, and a +9. And essentially combining like terms is just counting up or simplifying how many of each thing there is so that we have just a simple value for each term. It's like kind of the same way if someone asked you when your birthday was or how old you are, and you say 17. That's like the simplest way to tell someone. If someone asked you your birthday and you told them, oh, I'm 9 + 8 years old. Like, that's true. 9 + 8 is 17, so that may be a true statement, but it's not very like efficient or clear of how old you are. It's easier to just say 17. So it's kind of the same way here. We have 3x's and we have 4x's, but the clearest and simplest way to say that is that we have 7x's. The total of 7x's. And we're going to continue following our sign rules if you watched the last video. I also have -5 and +9, and those signs are different, so I'll subtract to get 4 and keep the sign of my larger number. So like terms are going to be anything that has the same variable and exponential value, the same variable and degree, we may refer to that as. So we just count these up, and we're saying we had 3 of them and 4 of them, so a total of 7. And then I had -5, +9, so a total of 4. Let's look at this example. Here I see that I have a's, and I have some constant terms, 3 and a -6. So here I have a +2a and a -5a. So I'm going to combine my a's. Now you could rewrite them in any order so that you can see. Signs are different. We would subtract and then keep the sign of the larger number. And then I also have a +3 and a -6. So again, I could write them with my larger number on top. Signs are different. I subtract 6 - 3 and keep the sign of my larger number. And then I cannot put these together because I've counted up -3a's here. This is just -3. They're not like terms, so I can't count them up to make 6 in any way. Lots of different strategies for these. You can stack them like I did on that last one. You could, put one underline underneath one, and then these are different. These are constant terms, so they get 2 underlines. So everything with 1 underline gets counted up. 7 and 1. This is 1v, so that makes 8v. And 8 and 9, 17. On this one, again, I'm going to, sometimes you can use shapes, like all my constant terms get triangles. These are going to get squares, and my squares go together, so different signs, positive and negative. Different signs subtract. 9 - 5 is 4, and I keep the sign of the larger number. And then my triangles, 3 and 5, same signs add and keep the sign. Sometimes, let's see what happens here. So I have a -b. This one I'm going to stack. So I have a +1b and a -b. I'm going to cross these out while I stack them. I also have a +7 and a +1. If I wanted to indicate signs there, I could. And then top to bottom, +b and -b. Different signs subtract. These are 1b's. This is 1 and 1, so 1 - 1 is 0. B's, and we don't need to indicate that there are 0 b's, so we would just cancel that out. That goes away. And then 7 + 1 makes 8. So for this one, our answer is just 8. We have no more b's left. All right, and then here I have 7a and 9a, and 1 and 9 are my constants. So 7 and 9, same signs, add, keep the sign. 1 and 9, same signs, add, keep the sign. So that is combining like terms. For distributing, we are going to be working with our term in front, and when it's sitting next to a parentheses like this, it means it's multiplying. So this is telling us that 2 is trying to multiply in with the quantity r plus 3. There are 2 times r plus 3. And so the way we're going to distribute, we're going to take 2 and multiply it with r, and that's going to give us 2r. And we'll take 2 and multiply it with 3, which makes 2 times 3. And so 2 times r is just going to be 2r, and 2 times 3 is going to give us positive 6. So we could absolutely expand it out like that. You could just distribute and do the mental math to get that answer. I'm going to write these out just expanded so that you can see. 4 times 1. So we're saying 4 times 1. And plus 4 times 7n. And 4 times 1 makes 4. 4 times 7 makes 28n. So those ones I showed you with using a multiplication dot. Over here, I'm going to show us with parentheses. So I'm going to take my outside value, this negative, and negative 1, it's really negative 1, right, times 3x, and then plus, I have a negative 1 times 6. And I can work each of these out. So negative 1 times 3x gives us negative 3x, and negative 1 times 6 would give us negative 6. I could bring this plus sign down, but I already have a sign that's indicating my 6. So I don't need double signs there. I know that this is going to be my answer. Let's keep looking here. All right. I'm going to have a negative 10 times negative 10r. So I'm going to write that in expanded. You could do this math in your head, but I'm writing it all the way out. And then I have negative 10 times 9. So plus, we have a negative 10 times a 9. And so these would make 100r positive, and these would make negative 90. And again, really the simplest way to write this would be 100r minus 90. So all of these extra steps and stuff that I'm writing, you don't necessarily have to do, especially this one, but I do just want you to see what's happening here. All right, we have a negative 2 multiplying in times 6. So we're saying negative 2 times 6 plus a negative 2 times 8v. These would multiply to make negative 12. These would multiply to make negative 16v. So that would be our simplest answer there. Negative 12 minus 16v. All right, and this is a nice example that's going to have some combining as well. So this 8 is multiplying in, but it is only multiplying into this quantity here. So we have 8 times n and 8 times negative 3. This 8 is not multiplying all the way to this 1 because this 1 is not included in the parentheses. It's not in the group. So here I'm going to say 8 times n, or I could do it with parentheses. I could do 8 times negative 3. So 8 times n is 8n. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24.